Superman number 26. Don't have the usual team on this one, actually. It's Michael Moretti and Scott Godlewski on the book this well, I say this month, this week is obviously twice a month. And this is a sort of one-shot fill-in before giving the regular team, Tomasi and Gleason a little chance to catch up in whatever they're doing. Yep. And this is a story about Clark having some trouble teaching John a couple of things about being a hero, and it kind of has a couple of cool flashbacks to him being taught some lessons by Jonathan when he was a kid. And it's mostly about parenting, about how you have to let your kid make their own mistakes and kind of learn for their own rather than just tell you what's wrong.
Except when your kid's learning from that jerk friend of theirs you don't really like. Because John was very much Damien here. I
mean, I like this issue. I enjoyed most of it, and I enjoyed most of the art. But both the writing and the art had one or two things that were just like sort of nitpicks where I'm like, like in the art, I thought like John sometimes looked like he was A, too old, and B, he had like this almost like his hair was just a little bit too long, and he had this sort of emo teenager thing going for him. And I'm like, wait a minute, when did that happen? He was like 10 in the last issue I read him in. It was kind of weird and just didn't jive with my current perception of him. It's again as well, the way he was kind of like arguing with Superman was kind of weird because it did feel a bit more Damien-esque. But even again, though, to be fair, when he comes in the room and like John's like doing push-ups, he's like, "Well, Damien always says you have to start the day early." It's like, okay, all right, so maybe they're hinting that Damien's had an influence on him.
He does, but that's not the influence you want.
No, probably not. No.
So that was my main problem with this issue. I did like, Clark having issues with parenting because he's Superman. He's supposed to do everything perfect, but this is the first time he's doing that. So, I get there's a little bit of growing pains. It also feels like something with Pa Kent's coming. I feel like we're getting a lot of the Kents lately. And
maybe.
It just feels like they're seeding things throughout because we had the destruction of the statues in Action Comics at the fortress, and now we have him reminiscing about his dad. So it's a bit not strange, but something I'm picking up on.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did. I don't actually see that as this is like a tease for that though. It feels just more like a. Because we all know about Superman's relationship with his parents, and I feel like it was an easy way here of like kind of relating that to what he's going through with John, and I like the overall idea of this issue. It was a kind of a sweet little story as a result. I do think when Damien. I do think when John.
You see?
Yeah, I know. But I do think when John actually does kind of learn, because they're fighting some monster dude, and he gets whacked, and he's like, "Oh no, I was wrong. I should have listened to you, Dad." I thought, I felt a bit easy. Like it doesn't really feel like one hit maybe doesn't feel like enough to go, "Oh, Dad, I was wrong all along. You were right. I should have listened to you."
Yeah, but it was also it reminded him of Manchester Black because it was a psychic kind of attack. So that, again, a little bit too easy too, because that's just what we came from, Yeah. I felt like maybe he just should have been backhanded and had the sense knocked into him there, and he's a little bit dazed, and that's when Clark's like, "See, you can't go rushing in. Good, let him learn a little bit the hard way." But I also love how Superman, the two guys that he's dealing with, the aliens that are sending the drones. Superman's like, these guys again. They're kind of just like D-level, and that's why he let John kind of rush in. They weren't an actual threat.
Yeah, I mean, as far as villains go, this was like a fine little one-off.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining. And honestly, obviously Black Dawn had a couple of shaky issues that ultimately kind of soured the arc to a fair extent. I will say that I did like the art in this. For the most part, like I say, John's face was often a bit of contention, but otherwise, it was the action looked good. Good colours, all that kind of stuff. But no, it's kind of a simple issue. I did like the scenes with Jonathan. The flashbacks were pretty cool.
I like anytime they use Pa Kent. I love that relationship. And That's what I always liked in the movie, in the 1978 movie. When he dies, it's something that Clark can't prevent because it was a heart attack.
Mm.
You know, and it always, it really just rang true on their relationship because it's really, when you're talking about a guy that can fly and has super strength, a vulnerability of his parents' death is what gets to him and shakes his worldview. So I like that he's reminiscing here about his dad and his dad teaching him lessons. And, you know, sure, you shouldn't use your superpowers for everything, but sometimes it's okay. You know,
Yeah.
you got to do things your way because we're different no matter what.
That's ultimately what he learns in that whole scenario is that he's trying to teach him to do things the way he does them, and he's like, no, but you're different. You have to kind of learn to do it your own way,
Yep.
and that kind of thing. So, like the ultimate message of this show was pretty good. It just, it was kind of like a solid 7, I guess, if you're kind of rating it.
Yeah.
Kind of idea.
It's a delicate hand to write the sons of Superman and Batman because we've seen this with Damian too. If it's not the right person writing him, he comes off really bad.
Yeah, like a Lazarus contract, where it felt like he was forced out of what he should be just to fit the story a little bit.
Exactly. And that's how I feel here. I feel like, yeah, you can have John being a little bit rebellious, but you don't need to write him as Damian, you know, as just this little shit that does things his own way.
Like, because he could have made all these same mistakes without having the same attitude problem.
Yeah, like he could have just been the life just trying to help. That's always what gets me with John is anytime he messes up, he's just trying to help. It's like when he went when they first found that mansion in the swamp, you know, he was helping Kathy look for the cow, and that's how he gets into trouble. So, but definitely, I mean, it's a delicate hand, and we know Tomasi's great at writing both, so it stands out a little bit more when he's not.